You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the very final rewind of 2024, 2025 now, technically. It's January 1st. Happy New Year's, everybody. Shout out to Jake and Lane, who could be with me on this joyous begin to the new year. What's going on, gents?
What's up, and Lane? Congratulations on the big dub.
Huge
it means a lot,
congratulations.
especially with who you beat.
True.
I had to make sure that I could beat George. Hey, also, now that I'm thinking about it, am I holding the record for amount of rewinds in a season? Because isn't this like my fourth?
Ooh, that's a...
It's got to be Brandon. It's got to be Brandon.
Well, if you're just counting
I've-
this year, you might be up there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like just in the amount in a season. Like this is my fourth time, I think.
This is one.
It's my third or fourth.
2, 3. This is number 4 for you. Big
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah. It's up there
Humongous.
for sure. Brandon's the only guy that could maybe compete on a different year, like maybe last year, but I think you probably have it, or at least tied. I'd say so.
Hell yeah. Wow. I just looked at the pick stats from last week. That just summarizes the whole year. I was 0 for 2 and Trent was 2 for 2. So the guest once again absolutely
That's true.
cooked. We'll touch on that a little later, I guess. But so I guess right away before we get started here, I did say this is the last rewind, which is mostly true. I do plan on releasing a solo episode sometime in the near future. I don't know exactly when yet. It'll just go over the record book. I'm mostly done with it. So there's a couple things I want to touch up. And then I'll release that and run through all the records, see what changed this year, if anything. We know Greg graced the record book this year. Although I was wrong about something in that, which I guess I can spoil now. Greg is not number 1 in the longest win streak, unfortunately. There was a bug in my code. Was filtering out teams above 10. So he's number 3, which is still really good.
Was it one of us on right now?
Let me check. I think it might have been Cade. You were one of them, I think, Jake.
For some reason, I thought it was me and Lane.
It's both of you guys. It's both of you guys.
Seriously?
Okay, I was about to say.
Lane
I
is
thought
number
someone else.
1 between the
Yo, wait.
2017 and 2018 year. So I guess you won the championship in 2017 and then carried over to 2018 is my guess.
No shit.
That's
Or you didn't make the playoffs, but that'd be impressive to have a win streak like that.
Number.
That's
How
true,
long
yeah.
was it? It I guess
12
that's,
wins.
12. All right.
Yeah, 12 wins. And Jake had 11 wins in the 2018 and 19 seasons across
Nice.
both of those. And Greg's at 10 in 2024. Almost. So there you go. There's a sneak peek into the record book. I'll go through all that good stuff sometime in the next probably week or two. Now that I said it on the air, I have to commit to that. Oh no.
Unfortunate.
Super unfortunate. All right. Well, I guess we can just kind of get into it, huh? We can. We'll start with the third place game. Cancun on 3. Attaboy Greg, Mr. Third Place over here. Back-to-back years. Baker Mayfield really took him there. 45.5 fantasy points. Jamar Chase showed out again. I remember last year he changed his team name to Thanks for the $30, Jamar, or whatever it was for the buy-in.
Yep. Remember that, yeah.
So, he put up 22 points this week. Last year I think he had like 50. It was ridiculous. Drake London, Jahmyr Gibbs, both studs. Aaron Jones, okay. Brock Bowers, stud. Xavier Worthy, stud. Please. Colts defense, not studly. Imagine giving up 45 points to the Giants. Holy man.
Yeah.
That's not good.
A lot of people were grabbing that Colts defense weeks ago in preparation for this being the championship game. Like playing the Giants seems like an incredible matchup, and then nope.
Hell yeah. On Cade's side of the ball, Josh Allen was fine. Terry was really disappointing, especially because Washington was throwing up points. Zacchaeus, I think, had a massive game, a revenge game against the Falcons. Makes you wonder if that had anything to do with it. Zacchaeus had a huge week, and Terry had the one catch for 5 yards, which was really disappointing if you're Cade. Nico Collins was pretty disappointing as well. Houston just got absolutely obliterated by Baltimore. Talk about disappointing. What a horrible game of football. Although, did anybody catch, was 2-31 scoregami? Do you guys know what that was?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Let me look.
Okay, I'm just curious
Yeah,
because
for
that has an
I'm not
opportunity to
sure.
be scoregami.
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like I would have remembered that if it was. So I'm gonna guess no, but it
that's,
definitely could be. It had. There's no way it's happened a lot. There's no way.
I'm going back
2 to
into the
31.
archives of scoregami right now. Buffalo 40-0. This game has a 13% chance to be scoregami. Let's see. 3 days ago. How many days ago? Was that the Saturday game, or was it a Thursday game?
I don't think it was Thursday. I think wasn't the Bears game Thursday.
Oh, here
Or
we
am I thinking of
go.
a different week?
No scoregami. That score has happened 2
Yeah.
times before. Most recently in 1965.
Jeez.
Jesus. Well, there you go. Wow. Bummer. Okay. Well, carrying on, I guess. Jerome Saquon was a stud. Did you guys hear that Saquon's getting shut down for this last week? He's like 101 yards off the
No.
rushing record or
I
something.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
So that's a bummer.
I do wonder if I'm not sure if this is I'm not entirely sure, but I wonder if now that the Packers are more likely to play against the Eagles, I wonder if the Commanders had lost or the Packers had won last week, if there had been a better chance of Saquon. Probably not, but
Interesting
know.
thought.
That's what I thought about right away, and then I'm like, well, maybe they just aren't thinking about us at all, and they're just trying to keep the running back healthy, which also makes sense.
That's my guess, but you could be right. Interesting. Jerome Ford was not good. I think he got hurt in that game, didn't he? Yeah, not practicing.
I was not watching that game.
Yeah, he carried the ball 6 times. Yeah, that game was horrible.
Once Jameis wasn't playing for the Browns, I stopped watching.
It's brutal. He killed the Browns. But I mean, starting Jerome Ford,
yeah.
I guess it's Miami. Miami's defense has been pretty solid this year, but they were pretty bad. No, it was the other way around. Were they really good defense when Tua was hurt? Crap, I don't remember anymore.
I don't.
What weeks
I
was
don't think
Tua
they were that
out?
good.
This season
they
feels
were-
like a blur at this
they were not
point.
good.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel
I
like it
didn't-
should be the last week of the season for
Yeah.
sure.
the Dolphins were not on my radar.
I guess with Kenneth Walker getting ruled out, then Jerome Ford slid into the lineup. I don't know. I would have been a Tracy guy probably, but I get it.
I don't know. I mean, you don't think that Tracy's going to put up more than Jerome Ford as of late?
Oh, Tracy's
anyway.
been a stud, man.
He has.
Hit or
Okay,
miss.
shit.
He had 17
He's been
points
good.
last week.
He's been
Honestly,
good, yeah.
I have not
Pretty
paid
good.
attention to the Giants at all at this point.
I want to go through all these matchups and just find out that Lane hasn't been keep track of any of these teams but won the league.
Maybe that's the secret to winning. Don't have any Giants player. Don't
Just
have any
win,
guys on
baby.
bad teams, so you don't have to worry
No,
about it.
That's true.
I have
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors on my other league, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
did win another championship.
He had a
in different league,
huge
too.
week this last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I played against him in my work league. He fucked me. I lost by 2.
Dude, my other league, I put up
Uh.
200 points. So I had him going and
Jesus.
shit like that. Yeah.
Nice. Tucker Kraft 7, Mike Evans 30. Mike Evans is a stud, man. The Baker Mayfield popping off was a little, diminished with Mike Evans getting a ton of those points. But 5 passing touchdowns is gonna be hard to come back from
Has he hit a 1,000 yards yet? Or
Evans. That's
How
a
far off
great
is he?
question. I have no idea.
inches closer?
He's at 915, so he needs
Okay.
85
I'll get
yards.
there. He's
Better
aware of
get
it for sure.
Yeah, he better
Who
get
they
there.
play this
I've been
week?
aware.
I don't know because Yahoo stopped showing the
It doesn't
matchups.
show it.
Yeah,
Damn.
I can.
I'll
find
look it up.
McManus and the Vegas defense, hey, pretty good. So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
disappointing from Cade. He had some real bad busts.
Oh, they play the Saints. He should hit it.
Oh yeah, the Saints have been so
That's got to be a
bad, dude.
guarantee that he hits it then.
You better hit it. So, better hit it. Oh,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, this was more Cade's team being incompetent. I mean, Greg had a fantastic score. Xavier Worthy hitting it was super nice. Michael Pittman on the bench too. Freaking footsteps. Flacco came back in for the final week of the year. Disgusting. I wanted Anthony Richardson to have that game because then Anthony Richardson would have outscored Mahomes on points per game.
Why the fuck does Greg have 3 defenses on his team? Why does he have Denver and Minnesota on the bench with Indy up there?
Was he trying to stop?
Maybe he was playing defense, or
Yeah,
he,
I was about to say.
Colts. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Maybe he was trying to stop Cade from picking up more defenses.
We'll look in the transactions, I guess, and see. Because I know there was a little bit of that in your matchup, Lane. I don't know if you caught that, but I guess we'll get there in a second. I don't know if there's much else to say about this. Greg's team popped off almost exclusively across the board. Defense was rough, but I mean, who cares? Cade's team, a lot of his studs, well, I say a lot, Terry McLaurin and Nico Collins really let him down in a big way. So, good thing Mike Evans didn't. You're welcome for that one, Cade. That kept it from being embarrassing. Because a couple guys on his bench had pretty solid weeks, but nothing saving him from that deficit. So, I think that wraps it up for this matchup, huh?
Yeah.
Dub. All right, Laner. Let's get into the one that matters. George versus Lane. Hey, can I start off by saying something quick? T. Higgins on George's bench, he was roasting me for that in the group chat this past week, telling me it was my fault. I went back to the rewind just because I couldn't remember what I said about T. Higgins. And I was kind of curious, so I went back to last week's rewind and listened to it. I did not say to bench T. Higgins. I just want to put that on the record. What I said, because T. Higgins was in his flex at the time, and I saw Juwan Jennings on his bench against Detroit, and I said, ooh, I see Juwan Jennings on his bench. It's probably T. Higgins, but I'd consider Juwan Jennings. Think about it. Was basically what I said, because you could throw on Detroit. I said think about it. You know, I'm not saying bench T. Higgins. If I mean bench T. Higgins, George, I'll tell you. I've done that many times on the show. I'm just saying. In no world did I say to play Zach Charbonnet, I'll tell you that. Granted, was he a bad play with Kenneth Walker ruled out? No, I probably would have advocated for that too. Unlucky that game was so stinky. One of the stinkiest games, dude.
Yeah. So my teams were doing really bad this year, so all I could do was provide insight on what other people should start. And I made some recommendations around that Bears Seahawks game. It was on a Thursday. My worst recommendation, which is now aging terribly, was Malik Neighbors. There were all sorts of bad signs on Wednesday.
There were.
Wednesday and Thursday, I'd say. To me, I thought he wasn't going to play at all. Like, I was probably 65% sure he wasn't going to play. There's just no reason to. So I was like, I think I recommended starting, who was it? Keenan Allen in that game.
Yeah.
And then figuring out whether you're going to start Neighbors or whoever else later. Like, you probably still could have started him, but
yeah.
I was making those type of calls, and that game was just abysmal for everybody in fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, I also roasted George for starting Charbonnet in the flex on Thursday. I did do that.
That is embarrassing.
Bad start to the championship game.
That's vintage George, so he doesn't care. Yeah, I just want to put it out there that I feel like I don't deserve the hate from George on the bench T. Higgins move. I did not tell you to bench him, George. I just said think about it. So would I've done the same thing? Probably, but that's why I'm not in the championship game.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, other than that, I mean, this is a fantastic matchup from start to finish, really. Lamar popping off on, was that Thursday? All kinds of good stuff coming from him. Oh man, Lane, you were down what, like 30 points, I think, going into Monday?
4, I think, or something.
You needed Jared Goff and Amon-Ra like a fish needed water. And you got it, man. Jared Goff's run from week 14 to 17 is actually kind of bonkers. I wish I could slide this up. can't slide it up. Well, week 14 through 17. I'll read it off for the people because the people can only see week 14 and lower. I can't scroll any further. Week 14, 27, 15, 53, 35, and 35. Like, that's an awesome run for a guy who was probably averaging, 15 points in the first half of the season, maybe 20.
And at this point, they've been playing like just for shits, basically. I know they're
True.
up against the
The Queens.
against the Vikings to keep the division and the
First seed.
What's it called? Like, yeah, first seed overall. But like, still, they're basically just playing him for garbage time at this point. Like, they got to guarantee no matter what.
Detroit versus Minnesota this week is going to decide who gets that first round bye.
Yeah.
Now
Pretty
it's
big.
serious, though.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Jared Goff's been absolutely cooking. Basically ever since David Montgomery got hurt. So that's an interesting little tidbit I thought of. But other than that, I mean, Keenan Allen was bad. James Cook was meh. He got a touchdown, which you're really thankful about because he didn't really run very well. Derrick Henry was a stud. Tyler Conklin, Lane. Oh boy. So did you see that George was playing defense on the tight ends here?
No, I didn't actually.
He has 4 tight ends on his roster. Well, granted, one's in the IR, but he picked up. I'm gonna spoil this and go to the transactions quick. So he picked up Chig and Juwan Johnson, so that you couldn't play them. And to be fair, both of them had 10 plus, so like not bad. But that basically forced you to take Tyler Conklin. Which I think is hilarious. It wouldn't have mattered, right? Whether you started Conklin or Chig or Jonu or any of those guys, it wouldn't have mattered because you won by over 20. But I just think that's so funny.
See, and here's the funniest part. Like I was saying before we started up this video, so on Saturday I was up north with Savannah up at her parents' place because we were doing the Hanukkah celebration. So I completely forgot about Saturday's games from the get-go anyway. So I mean, I had Njoku in, and then of course Evan Ingram. I mean, he's on the IR.
Yeah.
So I just forgot about that, and I didn't have Hunter Henry in. So he was just sitting on the bench, and of course I had to just drop him and pick someone else up here so I could get it going.
Right, because Hunter Henry had already played, right?
Yeah,
so
he
he was on
started
your
playing.
bench. So
And of course he ended up getting the
he goosed, right?
one. Yeah,
Oh,
he
did
just
he get
goosed out. I think he got like 2 targets maybe or something.
Yeah, 2 targets for 0 catches, 0 yards, 0
Yep.
everything. You know what's crazy about that? I just did the math. If you would have started Hunter Henry instead of Tyler Conklin, you and George would have tied on the nose. I don't even know what the tiebreaker is in this league. I've never tied in a double decimal league until, was it this year, Jake, in our Dynasty League, someone tied. It was crazy.
I tied, yeah.
Yeah, he
in
tied with
one.
Thad.
That ruined my season and Dad's
Is there a
season actually.
tiebreaker?
Yeah, there would have to be a tiebreaker.
Playoff tiebreaker is your best
Championship
regular
games.
season record versus opponent wins.
So
Huh?
George would have won the tiebreaker.
George.
I guess just most wins.
I think the tiebreaker should be whoever benched the player that did the best.
It's a
lose.
head-to-head tiebreaker. It's head-to-head. That's what it's trying to say. It's your
Okay.
best record versus your opponent. Whoever has that wins. So I don't know what your head-to-head is, but wow. What's the
there's no
head-to-head?
good way to
If
settle
this
that
would have been George, that
tiebreaker.
would have been so funny. Well, it just never happened, so who cares? You know.
Like I've heard of leagues that will do the tiebreaker as bench
George would have
points, but I
won.
think that's awful. I think bench points is an awful tiebreaker.
George would have won if he would have started Hunter Henry. He beat you twice this year. Wow.
Jeez.
That's insane. George, I hope you're
Yeah.
not. I honestly, for your sake, I hope you're not listening. Because the fact that Lane won because he forgot that Hunter Henry played on Saturday, so he couldn't put him in his lineup, and then he started Tyler Conklin, who he picked up off waivers because you scooped up every other tight end. Oh my god! Wow, wow. That's all I can say about that, really.
Hey, the witching hour.
Witching hour, indeed. Shout out Red Zone, man. Hell yeah. So on George's bench, also, Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. Not that it matters. Lamar Jackson had big boy points. that's about it. I mean, everybody else was just fine. On your bench, Jordan Addison was pretty good.
Yeah, Mr. DUI. He always has a good game and I keep him on the bench, but always
Trent,
puts up like 3
That
points
one,
otherwise.
Trent Sky,
Yeah,
Mr. DUI.
I would have had a hard. I give you credit for starting Devontae Smith because if I was on the rewind, I would have definitely said I'd have a really tough time. Like not like he's been terrible, but
Yeah.
he's capable of like against the Cowboys.
He'll
When
either
you look
put
at
up
the score,
5 points or
He
With
did not
no-
have to do anything.
It's not
he didn't
that,
have
though.
to do anything, but he did.
It's without Jalen Hurts was the big thing, right? Trent and I were very
Yeah.
anti Devonta Smith, right? We were like, do not play Devonta Smith. Play Addison, play Hopkins, play Debo, play any of those guys. Don't play Devonta Smith because there's no Jalen Hurts, therefore he will stink. That was the consensus between Trent and I. Well, little
Even
did we
with
know.
Jalen Hurts, probably wouldn't have started.
Little did we know, Kenny Pickett got hurt. Did Smith get his touchdowns after Pickett went out? Did anybody?
I
'Cause
don't know. Off the top of my- He might have gotten one with.
I know he got
Kenny
one
Pickett.
with Pickett out, but I don't know if he got the second one with Pickett or not. I'll have to take a quick peek. Let's see. First quarter. Pick six. Kenny Pickett to Devonta Smith. Okay. So he got one from Pickett. But then this Tanner McKee dude
Yeah, Tanner
bagged him
McKee.
another touchdown in the fourth quarter. Humongous.
I know McKee threw into AJ Brown because they had the thing where AJ
Yeah.
Brown threw the ball into the stands on
Yeah,
accident.
they both count. He was honestly, he was kind of dealing, that McKee dude. That was like his first NFL start. He was some late round draft pick rookie, I think.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
So, yeah, that's a championship to remember. For the wrong reasons if you're George, but for all the right reasons if you're Lane. Wow, that Tyler Conklin play must feel so good. You must feel like an absolute beast.
Dude,
That's
I
crazy.
feel great about the accidental manager incompetence turning out good.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Lane. And I think the best thing is you got 2 Jaguars rings. T-Law has a
Dude,
ring.
T-Law and Evan Ingram got their
that's
ring.
an interesting thing to
Bigsby.
track. Okay, that's an
Tank
interesting.
Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby.
Oh shit, yeah, and
Dog.
Tank Bigsby.
Oh, three Jaguars.
You might as well. You
Let's
honestly might
go.
as well have just picked up as many as possible at that rate before the game started.
That's a fantastic thought. I'm going to make a note about this. Track players' rings
I used to do that
in the record
championships.
book.
In every league that I was like, whenever I made it to a championship, I would always have one player like that. That not like that.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that would be like way worse.
I had
Like,
Fitzmagic a while back. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like if you could pick up a retired player, like I think I saw in Sleeper, Drew Brees is technically still on their system, so you could pick up somebody like that. Like it's just so random.
Or someone you just
Or like
toss on your
Gronk.
IR. Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be good stuff. So there you go. I'll have to make a note about that. I'll see if I can track how many rings players have for the record book. I think that'll be an interesting
Ooh,
stat.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun,
Yeah.
huh? All right, very good stuff. You guys just bring out the best in me. That's right there. All right, top players.
I wonder who has the most rings now. I want to know who has the most rings now.
Antonio
Just like
Brown.
Rodgers has been around a lot.
Antonio Brown might be up there
Yeah.
because I think he won a couple with Lane, and I think he won 1 or 2 with you too. At least 1 with you, I thought. Maybe I'm just thinking of Lane.
McCaffrey.
Oh,
McCaffrey
McCaffrey
was-
too. Yeah.
I had a couple of McCaffrey.
Todd Gurley probably has 1 or 2.
DeAndre Hopkins, who I had like throughout those years too. I
Sure.
don't know.
Yeah, there's
I was
a
thinking
lot of
probably
options.
like a quarterback, like probably just like Tom Brady.
Honestly,
Maybe
eventually.
not.
He was in the league for a long time. It's probably
Yeah.
not a running back for that reason, right? Because
Yeah.
they're typically not relevant for that long. Interesting. I'll let you know. I'll write up a script sometime this week.
My
for
guess
it.
is officially Rodgers. I don't know why. I'm just thinking Rodgers. He's been around for a while.
Reasonable. All right, boys. Best players of the week. Greg had Baker. Greg had Jahmyr Gibbs. The first time this year someone didn't have a person on this list, Rip Cade. George had T. Higgins on his bench, 43 points. He also had Trey McBride, 33 points. Hey, Trey McBride's first touchdown of the year this week. Good for him. Well, I shouldn't say that. First receiving touchdown. He did recover a fumble in the end zone really early in the year. Cameron Dicker, 17 points on Georgia's team. Dicker dicking people down once again. And Seattle defense from Lane, 17.5. It's crazy to me that you put up 182 points, Lane, and your only top score is your defense, and it's not even that crazy of a defense score.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going crazy out here.
Everybody was just solid, barring Keenan Allen. But I mean, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Devonta Smith, Derrick Henry, Tyler Conklin. Come on, baby. Come on. So, yeah, it was just a complete team win right there, Lane. Good stuff, man. Do you have any words for George?
Fuck you, George.
Oh, yeah, baby.
In all honesty, though, still GG's on that there. Like that was a very good and just strong game. So
The biggest thing to remember is we're dead.
Rip George. Welcome, George. Welcome to the Dead Club. He's probably not that mad.
It was a good week, good matchup. Basically, just like we said, GG's.
Oh, yeah. GG's indeed. This is a fantastic championship. I can't believe that we discovered live on the air that you Tyler Conklin your way into the
yeah, Tyler Conklin my way into
That's awesome.
not losing.
Because you told me before the show about Hunter Henry, and I'm like, oh, that's funny, haha. And then I realized that Hunter Henry goosed, and Tyler Conklin had over 20 points, and you barely won. So it turns out you won by exactly Tyler Conklin. And you would have lost if you would have started Henry, which gets me. You would have lost the tiebreaker. So if anybody wants to re-vote on a tiebreaker next year, I guess I'll write it down.
Yeah, guess we need to.
It's never happened in this league, though, ever. This league's been going on since 2010, right? So this is year 15. So
That sounds right to me.
yeah, that we've never once had a tie. So bonkers. All right, I guess we can glance the transactions quick, but there's not a ton left that we didn't talk about. It does look like Cade picked up the Vegas defense because we were trying to see if somebody was playing defense roulette here. Damn, Cade picked up Jerome Ford for 80 fab. That was
Might as well, I guess.
That was a couple weeks ago, but I guess that was when he came back from injury. I respect it. Yeah, I don't see a ton of defense. If that makes any sense, you know. Looked like Greg just had a bunch of defenses. Kudos. Yeah, not much else going on. So I guess that kind of does it for the rewind. I was gonna roast people, but I don't feel like I can, being not in the playoffs. and everybody here won some money except for Cade. So I guess I can quick on the fly. I didn't prepare anything, but George, fuck you for telling me that I suck for you benching T. Higgins. That was your fault. Deal with it, bitch.
Boom.
Right,
Roasted.
there's George. And Cade. Honestly, Cade's team was super nasty this year. And for it to go down in the way that it did with all these guys that he traded for just kind of brings joy to probably a large portion of the league. So
I'm kind of glad Cade didn't outscore Lane this week because I would have felt bad because I remember how much Cade was rooting for me to beat George in that first game. Well, Brandon too, but Cade for sure. And I was like, I felt bad for starting Jameis, but it happens. George was a juggernaut.
George's team was
can't blame
good
me every week. Yeah.
You know who else's team was good? Mine. Let's go back to Weeska's team. Mine. Haha. Yes, look at that, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Now that's a roster.
you did that. That was like me with Dynasty, sending you and Brandon and everybody that I talked to screenshots of how good my team's doing now that they're eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, man. All right, well, I guess that kind of wraps up this rewind. So I guess I want to thank everybody for a wonderful year of fantasy. Happy New Year once again. First place, Laner, the champion. George, second place. Greg, third place. Cade, fourth. There's your podium +1. Congratulations to all that won a little bit of money. Attaboy, Laner.
Where's my trophy?
Oh, that's actually a good point. It's funny you say that. I believe Greg has a trophy for the winner.
Oh,
Yo.
I'll send a picture of it to the group chat after
Dude, hell
this.
yeah.
It's
that'd be sick.
it's a travel trophy. Let me pull up the picture. It's a dog trophy and it says top dog on it. It's really funny. It's really funny. He found it in like a thrift store, I think, one day, and he sent me a picture. He's like, "Dude, should I get this?" So I said, "Hell yeah." So
I gotta make a little sticky note and put like a X2 or something on there for my other championship this year too.
Oh, nice.
oh baby. Hell yeah.
How many is this for you in this league?
It's the second
3?
for Lane, I believe. Oh,
2.
maybe it is
It's
3.
my second or
I feel like
third.
you've
It's my
you've
second
won
or
2
third.
before this for some reason. I don't know why.
This
I feel
is number
Lane
2
won
for him.
twice.
The only people
Okay.
with 3 are you and Nick B, Jake.
Gotcha.
You guys, they both have 3 because Nick won it last year, I believe. So,
Yeah.
and then it's Laner and Hothy, and then no other people have more than 1. Feels bad that I'm not on that list, considering Lane and I have been in this league for the longest out of everybody. We're the only 2 OGs.
Eight isn't?
What's that? Cade? No,
No shit.
no. Lemons and Nick B joined really early, but not technically OGs. I think Lemons joined like the second year of this league or the third year, one of the two.
Yeah, Lane, you might have set a record for how many appearances this year. Rewind Lemons set a record low. no appearances
Yeah,
this year.
that is actually a record low. That is officially a record because everybody else last year had made it on the show. I feel kind of bad about that. Maybe I'll have Lemons come on for the record book. Probably not. He probably won't give a shit. I'll text him though. Yeah, I'll send a picture of the top dog trophy. We'll have to find a way to get that to you later. I'm assuming you're not in town.
If anything, I guess if anything, my parents should be up here in January, or I guess it is January now. So
Yes, it is.
sometime this month for like just
Okay.
hanging out like for a weekend on my birthday. If
Okay.
anything, if you're by your parents, you could always just drop it off real quick.
I will do that. Sounds good,
So-
dude. I'll put a picture in the group chat after this goes up.
I like it.
Easy.
All right, gents. Fantastic stuff this year. Jake, thanks for being on the show almost every single
Yeah.
week, putting in the work.
Yeah.
Lane,
Thank you.
same thing to you, I guess.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah,
putting
pretty
in the
much.
work almost every single week between you
Shout
and
out
Brandon.
shout out Brian for hosting. It's been
Well, thanks,
fun.
buddy.
A lot of people listen to it, so yeah.
So, I guess that'll wrap up the show. So, catch you all. Well, I guess not next year anymore because it's 2025 now, but next football season for the draft in Green Bay. Oh baby,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah!
Oh shit!
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
that's
there.
right.
I'll be there.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to be there.
Hell yeah! All right, thanks everyone for listening. See ya.
All right, boys.